Hola a todos y bienvenidos a mi canal. Bienvenidos a un análisis de profundidad sobre las estrategias que han llevado a MrBeast a ser un fenómeno en YouTube. Así que si estás listo, ¡comencemos! No olvides suscribirte y activar la campanita para no perderte ninguno de mis videos. Y ahora sí, comencemos.
If you knew what I knew, you could get 10 million subscribers within 6 months.
Your first video is not going to get views.
Subscribers don't matter. Views don't matter. I mean, they do.
So stop sitting there and thinking for months and months on end and just get to work and start uploading.
Everything you want as a creator comes from making the best videos possible and thumbnails.
Diversificación de contenido. MrBeast es un maestro de la diversificación, desde desafíos alocados hasta actos filantrópicos. Su versatilidad atrae a una amplia audiencia. Abarca desde competencias externas hasta actos generosos que marcan la diferencia. La clave está en mantener el contenido fresco y variado para llegar a diferentes públicos.
I heard you guys talking about autoplay on YouTube,
Yes.
and I've never considered it. I've always thought about the thumbnail, but now on YouTube, videos automatically play.
Of course. So before you film a video, what is the thumbnail? What is the video? And then what's the first 5 seconds? And then what's the first 30 seconds? You know, by the first 5 seconds is like goes with the thumbnail.
Because it's possible that people open YouTube and
They don't see it.
They don't
Especially
even see the
for
thumbnail.
us, because like for so many people I've watched hundreds of our videos, when I upload, I am first on your homepage. So like you just literally don't even see the thumbnail. Because it autoplays so quickly. So like the thumbnail is irrelevant. I have to like visually convince you to click on the video.
Wow, that's so interesting.
Yeah, that's why we go so hardcore.
Dude, that's so crazy. So do you consider also captions in those first 5 seconds? Because
Of
people
course,
aren't
all
watching
of it.
with
Yeah,
audio.
everything.
Yeah.
Everything, yes, 100%.
Wow, so those first 5 seconds, that hook is now even more important than it ever used to be.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, before it was important because you had to convince people to watch.
Yeah.
Now you have to convince people to click and watch at the same time.
Whoa.
With the first 5 seconds.
That's driving CTR now too. Yeah.
It is 100%.
Wow.
I roast a lot of people who like have boring first 5 seconds. It's brutal.
Enfoque de la audiencia. La conexión de MrBeast con su audiencia es inquebrantable. Él interactúa directamente, responde a comentarios y a menudo incorpora sugerencias de los fans en sus videos. Su habilidad para entender y entretener a su audiencia lo convierte en una figura tan querida.
The thing people undervalue the most is literally the first 10 seconds of the video. Like, I think I can quote it. I tied up an FBI agent and I have $100,000 in this bag. Here's a knife, good luck, and I just run away. Like, it gives you everything you need, no wasted words, short and concise, and then tension.
Narrativa y emociones. Cada video de MrBeast está diseñado para generar emoción y conexión, desde momentos emotivos hasta competencias emocionantes. La narrativa y las emociones mantienen a los espectadores atrapados en cada episodio. La habilidad para crear una historia en sus videos es uno de sus grandes atractivos.
How do you keep viewers watching and, happy with the video?
I would say just give them why they clicked, tell them why they should watch, and then just stick on topic. Like that right there isn't even super complex, but that would already put you in the upper echelon of YouTube. It's hard for a lot of people. People, for whatever reason, like they just drag it out. A lot of vlog channels do it. It's like eating $100 ice cream, and they'll be like, I'm gonna eat $100 ice cream. But first, and then it's like earlier in the day, and it's just stuff that has nothing to do with what you clicked on. It's like them birthday shopping for their mom, and it's like that's not why I came here.
Calidad y constancia. La calidad y la frecuencia son fundamentales. Cada video de MrBeast se produce con altos estándares y es publicado regularmente. La combinación de calidad y constancia han sido crucial para su crecimiento.
The thing is, it's all knowledge. It really is. And like every time I say this, people debate it to the end of time on Twitter, but I don't care. Like I could start a new channel tomorrow with not using my face or my voice, like without ever promoting it, and in 6 months have 20 million subscribers. I just could. It's purely knowledge. Like if you knew what I knew, you could get 10 million views a video, and you could get 10 million subscribers no matter where you are right now within 6 months. It really is just knowledge. And I can already tell you 90% of the people watching, they don't agree with that. They don't. And everyone has excuses, and they're always like, nah, YouTube just doesn't work like that, Jimmy. You don't understand. But I mentor a lot of people. I see it even to this day. I still see it all the time. It is possible. It is simply knowledge. And the second you accept that it is knowledge and you start your, for me, 10,000 day journey of learning, for you, whatever it is, if you want to be less hardcore, but and like actually figuring out, you know, what makes a good video, what does my audience want, how can I elevate, and then you take that knowledge and you just assume that I will never understand what the perfect video is, and every single day I just need to be devoted to learning as much as possible and improving as much as possible, and I got to improve every video as much as I can. Then there you go.
Innovación y originalidad. MrBeast siempre busca sorprender a su audiencia. Su enfoque innovador y originalidad constante han sido claves para mantener su contenido fresco y único y competitivo en el mundo de YouTube.
Tons of viral ideas that people can do that don't require money. It does not require money to go viral. Like at one point, one of my most viewed videos was like spending 24 hours in a desert. We just grabbed a tent and some stuff and we went to the desert. And it got like 60, 70 million views. I have so many videos where we spent hardly any money, like the no food one, or I'd have to pull up the channel and go through it, that have gotten tens of millions of views, and they would have gotten 10 plus million views even on a small channel. So people who say, oh, well, I could be MrBeast if I had money. Well, A, I didn't start off with money. I was poor, I had no money, and it took me like 7 years just to buy a camera, saving up from YouTube. And B, some of our most viewed videos, literally, like anyone can do.
The best way to get views, in my opinion, I think it's better to really focus on quality if you're a very small YouTuber, and you can upload a video a day and like all the videos be average, and like none of those videos will really stand out. None of it's like epic enough where like the algorithm's gonna go, oh, this video is good, like we need to spread it. I feel like a lot of small YouTubers, they just post like videos that aren't bad, but they're not great, and they just do that, and none of them ever pop off, so they never get an audience. Where it might be better to like, you know, upload half or a third or even like a fifth of the videos, but make the videos you upload so freaking good that like the algorithm has to promote it, and that, you know, it has to find audiences for it, because it's such an interesting and good video. When you like set a consistent schedule and you're constantly having to upload videos that aren't as good as you'd like because you got to hit, oh, this Monday I said I'd upload every Monday, you know, like that's a dangerous trap, because then, you know, the viewers notice that the quality isn't as good and it makes them less likely to watch, and I think it hurts your longevity.
En resumen, las estrategias de MrBeast se basan en una mezcla de diversificación, enfoque en la audiencia, narrativas cautivadoras, calidad y constancia, innovación y originalidad. ¿Qué otros secretos del éxito de MrBeast has notado tú? Házmelo saber en la caja de comentarios.
It's okay to draw inspiration from me, but just don't do what I do to a T. It's not like $1 versus blank. I'm the first person to do it. But I just, you know, saw that format and I was just like, how can I do that 100 times better?
Right.
How can I put 100 times more creativity into it? How can I level up the editing by 100 times? How can I spend 100, blah, blah, blah. And that's always my mindset. How can I, like, if I get inspired by something, how can I do that but 100 times better and make it my own? Whereas a lot of people are just like, oh, MrBeast did that. I'm just gonna do it.
Yeah, how do I make a good thumbnail? How do I get people to click my video?
You want it to be simple. You want them to be able to, like, when they're scrolling through their suggested or homepage or whatever touch point, you want them to instantly be able to understand what you're conveying, and you want them to feel some type of emotion, you know what I mean? The way I like to phrase it is you want to make it so interesting or spike their curiosity or whatever emotion so much that, like, if they don't click it, they'll wonder, you know, when they're before they go to bed, like, what happened? You know what I mean? Like an example would be like, if you uploaded a video, I rode a skateboard with 1,000 other people on it, and like people are falling off the side or whatever. And I'm envisioning like a giant skateboard and people like hanging on the side of it. Maybe it's like about to go off a big ramp. If you don't click that, you're gonna like be so curious. It's gonna be on your mind, you know? Later in the day when you're daydreaming, you're gonna think like, what happened? What happened to those 1,000 people on that skateboard? That's kind of the mindset I think you should have when making thumbnails.
How often do you change a thumbnail on a video? Is that something, do you usually just stick with one, or you try different ones?
Well, I think we get better at making thumbnails every year. So it's more, when I upload a thumbnail, I usually think it's good and I don't change it most of the time. But what happens is like 3 years later, I look back and I'm like, oh, that's a horrible thumbnail. And so it's usually like every 2 years, we just go back and update a lot of our older thumbnails just because they're terrible. Just with like the new knowledge we have and what we've learned. And funny enough, that actually usually does help quite a bit when we update the thumbnails on old videos. They usually do see a little bit of an uptick because they're just, you know, if we take an old thumbnail where it's like seeing if whatever, like 100,000 magnets can stop a car, and it just looks terrible. And then with the new stuff, I know we zoom in a little bit so it's a little more visible and make things look better. then magically it starts doing a little bit better because now people actually understand what it is because I'm not as much of an idiot anymore. In 10 years, YouTube's going to be bigger than television ever was for culture, in America at least, in my opinion. And so I think a lot of people underestimate that, and I don't think people really understand just how, like, to be one of the top creators on the biggest social media platform, and that will also be the biggest in 10 years. During that whole time, like the amount of value and how crazy that is. Like you don't need a network, you don't need to go through people. You just are. You can do whatever you want, and you can influence people how you want. It's just wild. It's mind blowing, and you can leverage that to build businesses or like do things like Beast Philanthropy or whatever. I think like people don't realize just how much influence the top YouTube channels have.
No one's ever gonna do what I do better than me. Like it's just not. It's not even humanly possible. Like I reinvest every penny I make.
Yeah.
I work every hour I'm awake. I devote every atom in my brain to solving this. I hire the best people on the planet. I've been doing this for 14 years, and I think in decades, not years. So I'm going to be doing this for another 20, 30 years, not 2 or 3. So no, the next me isn't going to be me because no one's going to do what I do better than me. It's not possible. If I thought someone was doing better than me, I'd just start sleeping less so I could work even more. Like I'd figure it out. I don't give
The barrier to entry to be you is extremely high.
Yeah.
Right? Especially where you're
well,
at
it's just
now.
because I'm all in. I'm crazy. Like people shouldn't be me. I don't have a life. I don't have work-life balance. My personality, my soul, my being is making the best videos possible, entertaining my fans as best as I can. Like that is what exists on this planet. And I don't recommend it. You know what I mean? Like you should have work-life balance. You should not devote your entire life to this one thing. Like go have fun. Like, I'm miserable a lot of times. I have a mental breakdown every other week because I push myself so hard. Like, I don't recommend it,
What do you think gets us to 1 million subscribers?
Well, subscribers is an arbitrary number.
Okay, so a million views a video.
No, you should ask me, what helps us make the best videos possible? That's the only question you should ask me. Subscribers don't matter. Views don't matter. I mean, they do, but all that comes. Everything you want as a creator comes from making the best videos possible and thumbnails. But it's easier to, make thumbnails. The video part's the hard part, and that's the thing that you're known for.
No olvides darle like, suscribirte y activar la campanita. Y comenta para que más gente logre su libertad financiera como tú lo estás haciendo. ¡Hasta luego!
Hey, I'm Mr. Beast, and I make educational content like counting to 100,000, spending 24 hours on a mountain, making YouTubers sit in a circle for a day, making my friends sit in cereal. And that's just the surface of my academic catalog. But besides that, I'm here at the YouTube headquarters, and I'm gonna give you guys 3 tips. Tip number 1 is to go above and beyond in everything you do. When you go the extra mile, viewers just really notice. Like anything, they just can tell, and it'll make them more inclined to click on videos in the future when they feel like you put a lot of effort into your videos. Here's 100 grand.
Thanks, man.
My second tip would be don't be afraid to delegate. I film my videos with a lot of my friends, and honestly, it's just a lot of fun to have them around. And I've been doing YouTube for a long time, and I used to do it by myself. I can honestly say, like, if I was still doing this by myself, just mentally, it would just be a lot more challenging, and things are just a lot more fun when you have friends around and you just have people to help you in general.
Take your camera back.
Okay. My third and final tip would be don't be afraid of data. A lot of people just get scared of it, and if you're one of those people, you open it up and you don't even know what numbers to pay attention to, I'd advise you just start off by looking at your average view duration. You can literally see a line graph of where people click off. So if like your videos are like this and every time you sneeze you lose 20% of your viewership, cut out the parts where you sneeze, or just identify things like that. Sometimes it's not as obvious, but just wherever viewership leaves the video, just make notes why and just try to correct it. I would start off by doing that and then familiarize yourself with other data points, but that's the easiest one to fix. And that's it for my 3 tips. Make sure you subscribe to me here, and more importantly, subscribe to YouTube Creators channel, the channel you're watching right now. And I don't know if it's here, but if it's not, press down there. Unless it's here, then someone put it in screen, and good for them. Hope you guys have a good day.